Pelipper fires off the Hurricane, landing for big damage on Charjabug and putting in perfect farm down range for Floatzel to come in and get a running start. In comes Floatzel. We commit to the waterfall farm down, leaving with residual energy. The opponent's final Pokemon is knocked out Floatzel, firing off the liquidation. The opponent with one Protect Shield, 2 Harpion, choose not to invest it. We get the defense drop. Welcome back to the channel. Season 19 gave us the move update. We were all looking for an update to Swift. Swift is now, let's be honest, a pretty mid move at best. Swift is a normal type charge attack that costs 40 energy and does 55 damage. It's actually an Aerial Ace clone. I'm sure a lot of you know my opinion on that move. It's a move I like to call Aerial Ass. However, despite its quite underwhelming DP, there are some meta-relevant Pokemon that do use Aerial Ass, which in theory means Pokemon can use Swift and be meta-relevant. Today we're going to see if Floatzel finally has some play in the Go Battle League. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in Game 1, today's featured battle of the Plush Gamer, aka Ledsen, leads Charjabug into Tropius, a pretty type neutral matchup with both hitting each other for neutral the entirety of the time. Ledsen farms up, throws at very disciplined timing, 5 volt switches and the X-Scissor. Using a 4-turn move into a 3-turn move can be quite awkward, as optimal timing is either 2 or 5. Tropius, on the other hand, is either 1 or 5. Both trainers throwing at very disciplined timing. Ledsen knows he can survive the Leaf Blade. We then see the pivot into the Flying Toilet. Look for the Wing Attack farm down. Unfortunately, Tropius, being the ever bulky Banana Tree, able to make the Leaf Blade. Ledsen tanks the damage, commits to the full Wing Attack farm down and leaves absolutely loaded. The opponent sends out Swampert into a loaded Pelipper, which can only mean one thing. They are very weak in the back, and we've got double water. We force a protection with the Weather Ball, fire off the Hurricane. Hurricane lands, rocking Swampert deep into the red. Ledsen going to be putting it all on Floatzel, looking to sweep the backline. Hydro Cannon secures the knockout. Ledsen waits out his clock, sends in Floatzel. Floatzel gets the waterfall farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see Charjabug into Obstagoon, a very nice lead for us, as the counters are resisted and we've got access to X's that will be hitting the Dark typing for super effective. However, the opponent makes a very nice catch, catching the X's onto Azumarill. Of course, the X's was resisted, but this is not a good matchup for Azu. Ledsen stays in, forces a Protect Shield with the discharge. The opponent farms up, look to return fire, but Ledsen going to be hiding behind that Protect Shield, looking to get this Azumarill out of here. This next discharge will be knocking out or forcing the final Protect Shield. Azumarill gets vanquished, back to its Pokeball. The opponent is going to need to wait out their timer, as they've switched and we have not. The opponent sends back out Obstagoon. You cannot be triple weak trainer. X-Scissor forces the final Protect Shield. Ledsen recognises he might get farmed down, pivots out into Pelipper, drawing out a Alolan Raichu. Triple weak to Charjabug. What a team. Ledsen had the Weather Ball but opts not to throw, perhaps looking to get some farm on Floatzel. Grass Knot does secure the knockout. In comes Floatzel. Floatzel able to get the waterfall farm down leave with residual energy. Back out comes Obstagoon and we're 2 for 2 on top left, with Ledsen off to a 2-0 start. Heading into the next battle, we see somewhat of a core breaker. Our backline isn't particularly going to be a fan of Stunfisk. In fairness, Floatzel's waterfall damage would chunk, but Floatzel insanely glassy. It will not fancy tanking a discharge. Ledsen opts to stay in, looking to fire off these X's. X's are chunking, but our volt switches are triple resisted. Ledsen continuing to farm up. We bank our energy, try and catch a Mud Bomb onto Pelipper. What a high risk play, and unfortunately we are not rewarded. Pelipper now forced to shield up the double super effective discharge. We attempt to fire off the Weather Ball, but the opponent makes a very nice catch, catching onto Mantine. In the intro I said that Aerial Ace is quite an underwhelming move. You're going to see here, despite Pelipper being very glassy, we easily tank the damage. Again, we farm up to the Hurricane bait with the Weather Ball. This time we do force the opponent's Protect Shield. Ledsen unfortunately can't afford to shield here. We need to save a shield for Floatzel, knowing that a discharge will hit for massive damage. We opt to send back out Charjabug, fire off the discharge. Discharge double super effective, secures the knockout. Back out comes Stunfisk. Stunfisk fires off the Mud Bomb, and it's now all down to Floatzel to clean up. In comes Floatzel. Just look at this waterfall damage. The opponent is opting to stay in. So this can mean one of two things. They're either looking to force our final Protect Shield, or perhaps they're weak. Oh man, they certainly aren't weak. They've got Superior in the back, and this time it's us that concedes the match. Heading into the next battle, Knockdown. What is this, Season 14? The opponent safe switches into Vigoroth, aka the king of the Theme Cup. They farm up to the rock side, they full send it, and rock side lands for big damage. Ledsen fires off the Discharge. Both Discharge and X-Scissor are neutral. They do the same damage, so in type neutral matchups, you always want to throw X-Scissor as it is more energy efficient. Ledsen then makes a very nice body slam catch onto Pelipper. Pelipper does win CMP against Vigoroth, where it looks like Ledsen isn't opting to throw. He's just looking to maximise his energy. We shield up the body slam. We then farm up to the double before firing off the Weather Ball. Weather Ball easily going to knock out from this range, and we've got residual energy good to go. The opponent sends out Charjabug Pelipper, able to reach the Hurricane. If this goes unshielded, it's going to rock him deep into the red, which it does, and leaves him in perfect farm down range for Floatzel to come in and get a very nice running start. In comes Floatzel. Floatzel commits to the Waterfall farm down. I'll be honest, I've got no idea why the opponent didn't throw a charge move, but we're not complaining. We fire off the Liquidation. Liquidation goes unshielded. We get the defense drop, and just look at the Waterfall damage. Ledsen can easily shield this move up, and that Waterfall that snuck should be all she wrote, with Ledsen picking up the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we've got some bog on bog action. The opponent says no thank you, safe switch into Vigoroth, and we respond with the Flying Toilet. Ledsen fires off the Weather Ball. With the additional wing attack damage, this gets the cheeky little monkey below half health. The opponent farms out well past the rock side. Ledsen looking to call the bait. The opponent fires off the body slam, but they are doubled up. Ledsen happy to invest the Protect Shield, shielding up the next body slam. Due to Pelipper's pace and advantage, Ledsen can fire off 4 wing attacks when he's doubled up on Weather Balls. If the opponent shields the first, the second will be knocking out the opponent, recognising switch is lost. Ledsen looks to commit to the Hurricane. Unfortunately, we get Volt Switch farmed all the way down. Ledsen has got switch, but we are down a Protect Shield. On the plus side though, we do keep the glassy Floatzel away from the electric type, which is always advantageous. We really hope the opponent doesn't start shielding up this Charjabug, but unfortunately they shield the first X's. Ledsen looks to fire off the second, but loses CMP. Ledsen chooses to shield here. The opponent can easily shield this up, and I think we're in a lot of trouble if they do. The opponent does invest that Protect Shield. Ledsen gonna get outpaced. Oh boy, we're in trouble. The opponent fires off the X's. X's secures the knockout. We send out Floatzel. Ledsen says, nah, it's not happening. We concede the match, and we're going to move swiftly on. In the next battle, we see a great lead, Charjabug into Superior. The opponent is opting to stay in, and they can only hit us with non-stab aerial aces that essentially do nothing. Ledsen going to return fire with the super effective X-Scissor. X-Scissor does well over half the opponent's HP. Ledsen then looks to catch the next aerial ace onto Pelipper, recognising they must be ABA weak if they're staying in such a poor matchup. Our Pelipper safe switch is answered by a Azumarill, so they are very weak to the bug. Ledsen farms up, looks to fire off the Hurricane at good timing, which allows Azumarill to fire off the play rough first. Ledsen invests the Protect Shield, then throws 1 wing attack and the Hurricane. Hurricane, a very hard hitting move, but this bunny is a very tick boy. The opponent easily able to withstand the damage. Ledsen continuing to farm up, looking to force the energy, and we're going to get a very nice farm down with Charjabug. The opponent's already shown 2 things that are very weak to Charjabug, which is a top meta threat in this Summer Cup meta. So I imagine whatever they've got in the back must be good against the bug. However, they send back out Superior. We fire off the X's of the opponent, then reveals they have got a hard check. However, we've got so much energy. Ledsen fires off the Discharge. Go shield, and let's go Floatzel. Let's go, buddy. This is your time to shine. We see the instant shield deployed. The opponent full sends the Shadow Ball. Ledsen able to get the Waterfall farm down, and Floatzel is the best mon that's ever entered the Great League. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see some more bog on bog action. This opponent opting to stay in and look to play out this mirror match. The opponent actually tries her luck at catching onto Wish Daddy Cash, and we respond with Pelipper. The opponent doesn't even look to fake it till they make it, farming up 9 mud shots, looking to bait a potential blizzard, which in my opinion is a massive mistake. Ledsen not messing around, just YOLOing the Hurricane. Hurricane goes unshielded, leaving Wish Daddy Cash in perfect farm down range. Again, the opponent doesn't build up to a blizzard to the skulls, an easy tank. Pelipper gets a massive farm down, and we leave very close to Hurricane. Back out comes Charjabug. Again, we see Ledsen with the move, then opt not to throw. I thought we were looking to force the energy, but last second we invest that Protect Shield. The opponent then pivot out into the second. Mud Boy Quagsire didn't appreciate tanking the Hurricane to the face, and Pelipper, so spammy, already at the Weatherball, goes unshielded. Quagsire being used as the damage sponge, and the opponent's even forced to throw energy. The opponent hanging on to 2 Protect Shields, hoping Charjabug can sweep. Ledsen sends back out his own bug, looks for the resisted Volt Switch farm down. The opponent only reaches an Aqua Tail back out. Comes the opposing bug, and this is going to be a war of attrition, as we're just going to be spamming X-Scissor after X-Scissor. We managed to force the first Protect Shield, however Ledsen's Charjabug says there's plenty more of where that came from. The next X-Scissor forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We're actually outside of X-Scissor range here, so we're going to be able to tank it. Can we survive the Volt Switch and make one further? Yes, we can. This should put the opponent into a range where Floatzel should be able to clean up. We send out Floatzel. Ledsen, of course, going to be shielding everything. The opponent full send the discharge. Floatzel looks for the waterfall farm down. Is this just an X-Scissor? Please be an X-Scissor. No, it's a discharge. Holy crap. I thought we were going to win, but Floatzel, unfortunately, unable to tank the damage, and we take a heartbreaking loss. In the next battle, we see the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death in the lead. We save switch into Pelipper, drawing out Greedent. This isn't the worst matchup, and if we can flip switch, we're going to see Floatzel along with that Firebird, which is exactly what we're looking for. Are we going to see Ledsen fight for switch advantage? We should be able to survive any one move, and the opponent's going to have a very tough time with Mudshot farming us down. We tank the Body Slam, return fire with the Weatherball. Weatherball goes unshielded. Ledsen looks for the Wing Attack farm down. Unfortunately, we're unable to get it, but Ledsen is definitely taking switch. We shield up the Body Slam. The opponent then sends back out Talonflame, and we are YOLOing the Hurricane. Hurricane forces the Protect Shield, and let's go Floatzel. Look at this waterfall damage. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have Brave Bird. We actually no-shield the opponent. Fires off the bait. They've got Poliwrath in the back, and switch advantage proves to be everything in this battle. The opponent fires off the Icy Wind, looking to debuff Charjabug's attack, but if we're honest, we want to get low anyway, giving Talonflame minimal farm. Ledsen looks for the kill shot, fires off the discharge. The opponent tanks the damage, back out comes Talonflame. We're going again for the kill shot. Discharge will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. This is an easy win from here. We're just going to be able to waterfall farm down before the opponent reaches 2 charge moves. They're going to look to vamp up their attack, but waterfall, being a 3-turn move, is going to register before the 5-turn incinerate, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see the battle of electric types. The Wish version of Pikachu, Togedemaru. Dan Ottawa, is this you, buddy? The opponent fires off the Fail Stinger, looking to vamp up their attack. Ledsen going to return fire with a discharge. Both moves are resisted, so X-Scissor is the way to go, as it is cheaper, but regardless, we force ourselves early shield advantage. Ledsen looking to go for 2 for 2 on bait calls. We do not shield baits in this household. Ledsen with huge cojones, coming in clutch. We're then going to return fire with the discharge. The opponent goes all in on Togedemaru. Again, the opponent needs a wild charge to secure the knockout. This time, the opponent does full send. We send out Floatzel, look for the waterfall farm down, but the opponent resets their debuff, sending out Pidgeot. The opponent's done nothing but bait so far. This smells like a feather dance, holy cow. Luckily, Ledsen didn't agree with me. He correctly shielded up the Brave Bird, which of course with a one-shot, and we're able to waterfall farm all the way down. Out comes Toxapex, and we're finally going to get to see a Swift land. Swift gonna do... oh man. Pretty much negative damage. Ledsen banks his energy, then pivots into the fly-in toilet. We can't really shield this Sludge Wave, as of course Togedemaru would be able to one-shot both our Pokemon with a wild charge. The opponent goes to that wham bam combo play. Ledsen sees it coming in, fires off the Weatherball, goes for an undercharge. Okay, what are we cooking here? I think perhaps the better play would have been just looking to knock him out. As you can see, we would have then been able to reach a Hurricane against Toxapex, but let's see if Ledsen still managed to pull off the dub. We send out Floatzel. Floatzel gets the waterfall farm down. Can we reach double Swift? And if we can, are 2 Swifts enough to knock out the first one? Doesn't quite look like it does 50%. Is this one enough to knock out? Let's go, Floatzel! Oh, another heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the final battle of today's battle submission, which is a bonus battle, and we've got a slightly different team with Cradilly replacing Charjabug. Huge shout out to Ledsen, trying to show that Floatzel isn't all that useless. Is it any good? I'll let you decide that. The opponent fired off the energy ball. It does around half our HP. Ledsen Tank the damage, return fire with the first rock slide, with then fire off rock slide number 2 that leaves Electrode on a sliver of HP. It looks like Ledsen happy to invest the Protect Shield, looking to force alignment. The opponent fire off the Wild Charge. The opponent then sends out Typhlosion. We see the pivot into Pelipper. Pelipper not going to appreciate this season's move update. Thunder Punch going to be double super effective. Pelipper straight in and straight out. We're the ones getting boomed today. Ledsen now sends out Floatzel. The opponent isn't switching out. This means it could be double fire. However, as we've mested 2 Protect Shields, even if it is double fire, I think it's still going to be a loss. The opponent sends out Skeledirge. Win con for us as the opponent looks to call the bait. Liquidation forces the Protect Shield. The opponent is going to be able to take us out with the Disarming Voice. We're then going to be 2 Incinerates off the next move. We're only 3 bullet seeds off, but Skeledirge will be winning CMP. Ledsen recognise the game's over and we're going to concede the match. But that waterfall damage in the final battle was absurd. Huge shout out to the BUFFED, aka Ledsen, for a really fun battle submission. Trying to use some spice. Floatzel has been buffed once again, but let's not kid ourselves. It's still pretty dreadful. I don't know what Niantic need to do to make this mon good. I think it's just one of them mon that's always destined to be nothing more than a meme pick. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.